All descents are for the purpose of ascent. One must learn to strengthen himself during the difficult times, the times of descent, because those times are intended to forge him into a greater person. He can draw strength by contemplating that God is always with him, both when things are just beginning to look bad and when the situation starts to look much darker. Jacob was about to descend into exile with his entire family, and he foresaw that this exile would continue for several generations. Yet he strengthened himself with the knowledge that God is with every person, both in the descent and during the duration of his troubles, and he waits with the person for his salvation and ascent. These are the words of Rabbi Nachman as he commented on the Torah portion of Vayigash, but specifically on the verse Genesis chapter 46, verse 4. Now, the English of this verse says, I will go down with you to Egypt, and I will also bring you up, and Joseph will place his hand on your eyes. But, the meaning of this in the Hebrew is so much richer and deeper than what we have here in the English. So let's take a look at that. It says Anochi, which means I. This is Hashem. This is God talking to Israel or to Jacob. And it says, I, Anochi, Ered, I will descend. I will go down. Imcha, with you. Im is with and cha is you. And then we have Mitzrayma, which Mitzrayim is Egypt, and Mitzrayma, the ah part right here at the end, this is towards. So I will go with you towards or to Egypt. Now remember, Mitzrayim, it's a word that means constraints or straits. So it's a place of oppression, of constraint, right? Because the children of Israel were oppressed through slavery there. And then it says, Ve'anochi, and I. It's the same word right here, Anochi, Anochi. It just has the vav right here, so that means and. Ve'anochi, and I. A'alcha. A'alcha means I will lift you up. I will raise you up. The a'al right here, the a'al is I will lift, and cha is you. So, and I will lift you up, a'alcha, gam. That word means also, gam is also, and then alo. And then alo is actually the same root as this a'al right here. And it also means to bring up. So this word is a little bit redundant. He's saying, I'll lift you up and also up. So I won't just bring you up. I'll bring you even more up. I'll bring you even higher than where you once were. That's what God is saying to Jacob, to Israel. So he's saying, don't be afraid. You're about to go to Egypt. And, Yaakov, he was forewarned that his descendants would be oppressed in a foreign land for many years. And, God was telling him, yes, you are about to descend. You are about to go down. You are about to have, to face a very dark time in the history of your family and your descendants. But don't be afraid, because I will go with you and I will lift you up from that, and you will rise up even higher than before. And that is so true. That is so true, even with us today. A lot of times, when we think that we're suffering, and we really could be suffering, it may be true that we're really suffering. Maybe we've lost a job, or, we're very sick, or, we're trying to build up our business, but, things keep failing. And if we feel like we're in a pit, but, if we know that we're doing what God wants us to do, if we're doing right, if we're following his commandments and doing his will, God tells us, just like he told Jacob, just like he told Israel, I will go down with you. He's there with us in the hard times. And, as a reward for our faithfulness, just like Joseph, Joseph, he was sold. He almost died by the hand of his brothers, and then he was sold as a slave in Egypt, and then he was imprisoned falsely. But through that, he was able to rise to a position of prominence that he would have never been able to attain had he never gone through all those hard times. And it's the same thing with us. when we're sick, we can see it as a curse, or we can see it as a blessing. We can see it as our body, or even God himself telling us, I want to help you, so I'm going to give you these symptoms, these curses. They may seem very hard right now, but it's really our body talking to us. It's really God talking to us and saying, there's something that's not right in your life. So take some time out and use this opportunity to find out what is wrong. What does your body need? Whether it's, different kind of food, or herbs, or vitamins, or supplements, or different kind of environment. Maybe you need to get rid of, toxic friends, or a toxic job, or, a toxic living environment. Whatever it may be, cancer is a big one for this, but also high blood pressure. It's not just, it's partly physical. The causes for these types of sicknesses are partly physical, and they're also partly mental, and sometimes they are also partly spiritual. So just remember, whenever we're facing hard times, whether it be sickness or any kind of challenges, even the loss of a job, it could be a wake-up call from God saying, you know what, it's time to do something else. I want to take you and give you something better. When we are descending, as long as we are staying within God's will, we know, we should trust that God will also bring us up and lift us up even higher than we could ever go without that trial, without that hardship. It's just kind of like the same thing as when you work out. When you work out really hard, you get sore. That's because your muscles are tearing, but they're tearing so that they can rebuild and become stronger than ever before. And I feel like that's also the case with this world. I believe that God allowed sin, God allowed the fall of Adam and Eve and the loss of paradise from the garden so that humanity could face, what it's like to be out of God's will, what it's like to sin. Because only when we understand the suffering that is caused by sin, only then can we appreciate eternity without sin in the world to come. Now, a little bit more Hebrew grammar. When you have a future tense or imperfect tense, incompleted action type of verb, the presence of an aleph like this right here in ered and right here, a'alcha, this aleph means first person, or I. I will descend, ered, and I will lift you up, a'alcha, right? Now, in contrast, and one way to remember that is that's an aleph, means I, just like ani or anochi, which means I. Okay. Now this is in contrast to the imperfect verb form when it starts with a yud. So when it starts with a yud, then it is third person, or he. Okay, or sometimes she. So when it's imperfect verb form, the aleph means I, and the yud means he. Okay. Now with this verb right here, let's do another one. This right here, yado, yad. Oh, let's do that later. Sorry. Okay, let's do this one first. A'alcha gam alo. A'alcha gam alo. So again, Rabbi Nachman says something very interesting about this. About that phrase, A'alcha gam alo, Rabbi Nachman says, God accompanies his people in all their descents. He is found with them in all circumstances. In the phrase, A'alcha gam alo, I will also bring you up, the word alo above seems redundant. That's what I was saying before. This word teaches that when God begins to elevate us, he does so continually. He elevates us again and again to even higher levels. So beautiful. The second part of the verse says, Vayosef yasit. So, and Joseph, the vav means and. Yasit means he will place. Okay, he will place. Speaking of Yosef, because of the yud, it's he. He will place yado. Yad is hand or arm, it can mean either. And the o part here means his. Okay, so yado. He will place his hand al, which means on or upon, einecha, which means your eyes. The ayin is eye, Einaim is eyes. Einei is eyes of. And cha is you. So your eyes. Einecha, your eyes. So what does that mean? Yosef will place his hand on your eyes. Well, Rabbi Nachman says something very interesting about this as well. All over the Bible, our hands symbolize the things that we do. So there's this very common phrase that's found all over the Bible, the work of your hands, such as in Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 9, it says, so the Lord your God will make you abound in all the work of your hands. And again, in Jeremiah 44:8, it says, God is saying, why are you provoking me to anger by the work of your hands? So your deeds, the things that you do. Job 10:3, it says, does it please you to oppress me, to reject the work of your hands? This is Job talking to God now, saying, I'm your work. I'm the work of your hands. It doesn't necessarily mean that God has literal hands. God is spirit. God is invisible, right? So Psalm 8:6 also says, you made him ruler, talking about man. God made man the ruler over the works of your hands. So the things that God made, right? So the word hand is often associated to the things that we do, the things that we create, the things that we build, or the things that someone builds, whether it be God or man. So through Yosef's hands, it says, God says that Yosef will put his hand on your eyes. Rabbi Nachman talks about that, how through Yosef's hands, he will bring forth reality to his father Jacob. And he says that in doing so, he, now he's in this part right here. Rabbi Nachman is talking about the tzaddik. There's a concept of the tzaddik, but and although he's talking about Yosef in this instance, I believe that it's talking about any righteous person. So we're all called to be righteous, right? But he says of Yosef that when Yosef puts his hand over Yaakov's eyes, when he does this, he's rectifying Yaakov or Jacob's imagination. So when the righteous man, he shows people through the work of their hands the truth, to dispel the myths, their imaginations, the propaganda in their lives, basically to change the way that they view reality, which was damaged by a jaundiced view that is associated with slander or lashon hara or propaganda, as I said before, and gives them clarity of mind. The righteous help people, bring people to the truth of reality so that they can stop imagining delusions that, have deceived them for years and years and years. So, for example, Israel, Jacob thought that his son was dead, his only beloved son. And in reality, his son became a great man, greater than all of his other sons, greater than he ever was. And that was reality. And so this is what the righteous are to help people to do. We're supposed to help people realize that, when we are descending, it is really a time to dig deep and remember that God will help us to ascend from this situation, and that we don't have to believe the lies and the propaganda that we are told, the lies that are, maybe the doctor's saying, you only have 6 months to live. That's a lie. Only God knows, the number of our days, right? People say on the news, all hope is lost, the world's going to collapse. They're going to do this and we're going to do that. That's a lie. It's a lie. It's all a lie. Only God knows the future. And he has wonderful things in store for us. Even though we may have to go through a time of darkness, we have to see, we have to live in righteousness. And those who are righteous, we have to help others see the truth of, God's promises that humanity has a wonderful end. We have a wonderful future. So I hope you enjoyed my Torah insights that I received when I was studying for last Shabbat. It was such a blessing to me. So I really wanted to share it with as many people as I could. And remember, if you are going through your own personal Egypt, your time of oppression, whether it be because of sickness or, a loss of a job or finances or loss of a loved one, whatever it may be, just remember that God loves you and he has great things in store for you. And, when he puts us through the hard times, it's only because he wants to give us something better. He wants to help us in some way. Don't see life or the situations in your life as a curse. See them as a blessing. See them as a lesson to be learned. I'd like to invite you to visit my website at www.hebrewmime.com. That's HEBREWMAYIM.com. And you can click on the button to sign up for free lessons, free Hebrew lessons to your email delivered every week or so. Sometimes I miss a week. Sometimes I'll send more than one email for that week. So again, just visit my website, HebrewMime.com. And I also have special sections here. Not only can you sign up for free Hebrew lessons to your email, but you can also get my playlist to learn the Aleph Bet, even Aleph Bet with Elmo. And I also have a section on learning various Jewish prayers and blessings. I also have you can see all of the Hebrew lessons from Genesis to Deuteronomy. And what else? Oh, I have a section on ancient Hebrew. Learn how to pronounce the Hebrew letters in the ancient Hebrew pronunciation, the ancient Hebrew tongue. I have some lessons on how to trope or chant the Torah, specifically lessons for that. And then I also have links to if you're interested in getting more formal biblical Hebrew lessons or modern Hebrew lessons from a good friend in Israel. So you can check that out as well. So just visit my website at HebrewMime.com. Shalom. Would you like to become the healer of your home and your community and create a profitable online health coaching business? Are you interested in becoming a health coach, a naturopath, an herbalist, or a nutritionist? Do you need help finding the right program for studying holistic health and healing? Or perhaps you already have certification, but you're still not confident enough in healing people and don't know how to build a business that will empower you to have an impact and allow you to leave your regular day job. Are you ready to get a deep and comprehensive picture of holistic health and healing and learn from top healers in our day so that you can stop being stuck in a job or a career you don't have a passion for? Heal yourself and others without the need for pharmaceutical drugs with harmful side effects, doctors, or even dentists. Become more knowledgeable about holistic health and healing than most medical doctors who have graduated from medical school without spending hundreds of thousands of dollars and years of time in expensive medical schools or programs. Build a health coaching business that will allow you to work from home and achieve time, location, and financial freedom. Aruka.com empowers people to become the healers of their home and their community by equipping them with naturopathic herbalism, health coaching, and online business and marketing skills. My name is Mayim. I'm 42 years old and a homeschool mom of 7 beautiful children. These 2 in the photo are my October babies. I became a naturopathic herbalist and health coach in order to take charge of my family's health when the modern medical system kept failing us. We were spending thousands of dollars on insurance and other medical expenses, but they did not have any answers for our health problems. Working from home has been such a blessing for us. I used to work at the NASA Ames Research Center as a computer scientist/engineer. But being able to have an online business has enabled me to surpass my income at NASA and to be there for my family, homeschool them, take care of them, watch them grow up every step of the way, for 18 years now. I started Aruka.com in 2009 to help people become healthy and heal themselves. I've coached all sorts of people, and eventually even medical doctors and nurses started coming to me repeatedly for help, for various health issues for themselves or their loved ones. I help people heal themselves of serious diseases such as cancer, heart disease, and high blood pressure, diabetes, as well as other common issues such as hormone imbalances, abnormal bleeding, migraines, eczema, kidney stones, gallstones, cataracts, and even urinary tract infection. Various people began asking me to start teaching what I know about holistic health and healing, including 2 medical doctors who have become very good friends of mine. When I realized that there was such a demand for the knowledge I have that even medical doctors were telling me to teach, I shifted the focus of Aruka.com, and now we teach people how to become confident healers through our naturopathic herbalist and health coach certification program. We help people become healers of their home and community and create profitable online health coaching businesses. If you're interested in becoming a holistic healer, please visit our website, aruka.com, ARUKAH.com. Again, that's ARUKAH.com. Hope to see you there.